Hello, guys. How we doing tonight? Small crowd, small crowd. Usually we have people joining in a little later down the line. Just a quick confirmation that you guys can hear me all right, can see my screen as well. Give me a little message in chat to confirm. Awesome. All right, well, very simple week this week, guys. If we look at the news calendar, we are trading every day but Wednesday. But here's the thing, with Wednesday in the middle of the week like that, I'm still going to be trading Wednesday. I'm just going to have my half risk protocol. So for me this week, every day is a trading day. So exciting week. Nearing the end of September, right? We had a deep pullback in August, and now September, it seems to be going up. If we are to close bearish, as most Septembers do, well, we need to see that, right? And I'm not going to speak on statistics yet, just because the app is going to be releasing over this week, right? So definitely be on the lookout on Twitter and in the announcements tabs, because that's when I'm going to start speaking about statistics publicly, is when the app and all that information will be available for the grand public. But before then, very bullish price action at the moment, right? And something I rarely speak on, right? I'll move the news over. When you see price trading back into a wick, we don't call that inefficient. We don't call that wick anything. But technically that top wick is lower time frame inefficiencies. So for example, just to showcase this, if we go down to the 4-hour, you'll see that this top wick, right? This whole wick that we had on our daily is filled with inefficiencies. So even though on the daily, when I am very bullish or very bearish, right, just extremely strong in any direction, I don't have time to necessarily retrace lower, and sometimes we don't even form inefficiencies, which we mark out as an immediate rebalance. Now, what is an immediate rebalance? Well, I want to see an exact rebalance of the gap that we were forming. So once this candle closed, we had a gap in this candle, just not confirmed yet because this candle had yet to close. But if we looked at the opening price, this was the gap we were looking for. Now this other candle retraced all the way back to the previous candle's wick, which means that we don't have a gap that was formed at this level. But as I said, this is to represent very bullish, very bearish conditions. And as you can see, we retraced into a discount of our 4-hour range, which I think I put up the wrong side. Let me just flip that over. So we did retrace to a discount. As always, where in discount? First discount and efficiency. Nothing special here. Beautiful reaction. That was Friday's early morning, right? Before we went bullish on Friday. So with that price action, what do we anticipate, right? We're respecting, oh, wait, I locked it, sorry. We're respecting bullish arrays, what we call bullish order flow. Now, if we go down to the 1-hour, we'll notice some very nice things. Now, I rarely speak on this as well, just because you don't need it. You don't need to be, well, to understand what a market maker model is. What you need to understand is that the markets basically deliver price in multiple different phases. Consolidation, other types of consolidations, then followed by reversals, followed by other type of consolidations. Now you can give them the nice fancy names: accumulation, manipulation, distribution, or reaccumulation, redistribution. I don't care about the specifics of it, because yes, it's fun as from an analyst standpoint to know all these things and to understand all these things. But what do you really need to know? Oh, well, previous monthly high, we're in a bullish month, we're going to go to previous monthly high. That's it. And now, yes, there is SMT. So you would treat NASDAQ as if it already took out that specific level, right? We're comparing liquidity points from this point on, and there is SMT here. But you can allow a little bit of time for NASDAQ to catch up to ES before really looking at a higher time frame reversal. If we go back, sorry guys, if we go back to the daily chart, and let's just remove the drawings here, we'll notice one very specific thing. ES actually formed SMT with all-time highs. So ES last week took all-time highs. So now that is a very important point in liquidity. But before we see a reversal form from this SMT, I'm going to anticipate NASDAQ to trade up to here. And we've talked about it. I believe it was 2 outlooks ago, so it might not be for everyone, but this was a weekly fair value gap. And this weekly fair value gap has been my bias for a while now. And once we are there, we could actually invalidate it and keep trading higher, even though there is that big a divergence, right? Because ES was very volatile last week, but ES could be just slower this week, and we can easily see a few, well, even all the way to all-time highs in a week, right? We could see a 13 handle week. We've seen 13 handle days on NASDAQ sometimes. So definitely would be a nice week, having a plus 6% week, definitely. But bias is higher, going to the weekly fair value gap more specifically. And once we're at that level, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna trade some short retracements, and I'm gonna be basically, I'm not going to be sure if this move lower will just be a retracement into some discount inefficiency, or if it will be a full-blown reversals and we're going to go get some lower lows. But trading all the way back up to this range is something that tells me that we're not so bearish after all. But it does mean one thing, right? It's just because when you see SMT like this, and especially if you've studied divergence a lot, you understand that this SMT can hold for 2 weeks but still be invalidated on the 3rd. So I'm going to consider retracements opportunities from this premium bearish fair value gap, right? Weekly fair value gap that we have right here after sweeping these relative equal highs. So I'm going to look at these levels specifically and look for a move lower. Now, if we take the news that we have this week, we could see 2 expansions, right? Because we have Monday, Tuesday news, then a Wednesday break, Thursday, Friday. Sorry, I don't know my days of the week apparently, but Thursday, Friday news as well. So we could see some sort of price action that goes one way for Monday, Tuesday. Then we can see some sort of consolidation on Wednesday, forming SMT, and then the rest of the week just retraces lower, right? So that is the main plan. That is what I would like to see. But I am going to be considering longs all the way up until this fair value gap, and depending on what structure we see form here, I might continue to look for longs. Now, I know this is very, I'm forgetting the word for it, but saying, oh, depending on what structure we see here. What does that actually mean, right? There's a lot of beginners that comes to these calls, that listens to these recordings as well, these videos. So I do want to be a little more precise in that. For me to consider a midweek reversal, I need some very key criterias, right? I'm in my intra-week time frame, which for me is the hourly chart, and I need to see SMT form. So SMT not necessarily in the 1 hour, but I need local SMT as well. What is local SMT? Recent SMT. So I'm going to look for SMT within recent price action. So for example, NASDAQ trading up to here, failing to form a higher high, while ES trades up to here, and let's just say it does not even take this high right here, and it also takes this highs and goes there. So there's double divergence in this specific drawing case, right? Looking at these highs, but also looking at these highs. And again, it's just a drawing. It can happen multiple different ways, but I need SMT to be present, and then I need us to form an order block. Why not a breaker block? Because I don't want to be late to my trade. I don't trade 1 hour breaker blocks. I trade 1 minute breaker blocks. So once I have key structure form with SMT forming some sort of order block at this level, right? This is where I'm going to be looking to short at least until last week's low. So that would be the goal. But last week's low is not definitely the nearest objective, just because of, well, as you guys can see right here, it is a few handles away. But having a nice little upside move of close to 300-400 handles, and then a downside move of 1,000 handles would be pretty nice for the week. If this specific structure that I'm talking to you about doesn't form at this specific level, so again, the weekly fair value gap alongside the highs we highlighted earlier, if it doesn't form, I'm not flipping my bias. So I'm going to keep going long. I can always trade intraday retracements. So taking into consideration what the previous session did, I can frame some trades for the next session, but my bias will remain long and my distribution trades will remain to the upside, at least for the start of the week until we have more insights. And as I always do during the week with the PA reviews, which 4 PA reviews this week is going to be a week packed with some nice value for you guys. But I always give a little insight into what I'm thinking the day before in the PA reviews. So I'm basically giving you guys a little piece of what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow most of the time. Very simple outlook, right? What are we? We're bullish. What are our objectives here? Starting here, could look for shorts. Maybe we keep going up if my key structure doesn't form, right? It sounds complicated because I try and give you guys as much detail as I can to actually provide value with these calls, not just be some sort of public journal. Because for me, that's what it is. That's my journal. I want to be able to come back in 5 years and see that that guy was not some dumb asshole. That guy was actually doing his work. Here is the proof. This is him calling the markets for 3 years. Yeah. So that is the main goal with these calls. But definitely want you guys to have some value from that. Do we have any questions? Right. As I said, pretty short, straightforward stuff this week. All clear, I'm guessing. All right. Well, I will add all the events to our events for the PA reviews this week. So as I said, Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. So definitely going to be a packed week. A lot of info also coming this week for the Rice Statistics apps. If you were waiting for that, there's definitely very, very excited to be releasing that to you guys. But on that note, since there are no questions, all clear, I'm going to wish you all a great night. Good luck trading this week. And for those of you that I see in tomorrow's PA review, see you tomorrow. Have a great night, guys.